Hello Idle Hero fans, welcome to this video where we're going to be discussing one of the first 5-star heroes most people tend to pick up in this game, and that is Starlight. Starlight is a mage from the Forest faction, and you basically get her from the daily events, so after playing for about a month you automatically unlock her. You can also get her from random 5-star shards. She's pretty common: Summoning Circle, Prophet Tree, Guild Shop, Creation Circle for the 6-star. There's just tons of different ways of getting her, and it's honestly normally one of the first champs people pick up, so you always see on like Reddit, on YouTube, on Facebook groups, it's like, should I use Starlight? Should I 6-star Starlight? So hopefully we're going to sort of chat today about if she's really worth using and when to use her. So like I said, she's Forest faction mage. In terms of her stats, 48,000 health here at the 6-star max, which is pretty low, honestly. It comes out to be one of her sort of weaknesses is the pretty low health. She has really good attack, sort of average to low speed, which is also a bit of a problem, and honestly armor doesn't really matter too much. So from her stats, attack is great, but health is a little low, and that is, as we sort of go through her skills, becomes the problem, the low health. Her first active skill, Meteor, deals 120% of attack damage against backline enemies and 60% chance to stun a warrior for 2 rounds. So this actually does a lot of damage. It's backline AoE, which is solid. Any champ that has that is a pretty good starting point. But the 60% chance to stun a warrior for 2 rounds is a bit weird, because warriors usually aren't in the backline. So that's kind of a bit of a red herring, that stat there. So it's really just a bunch of damage and the occasional sort of stunning a warrior, mainly in like PvE, I guess, because they have some weird setups. But overall, it's a pretty solid skill. It does a lot of damage. Her first passive, attack reduces the target's armor break by 17% for 3 rounds. So this doesn't really do much, to be honest. In terms of reducing a target's armor break, it kind of means they're just doing less damage, which doesn't really do much. In terms of what you're trying to do with Starlight is kill the enemy. So sort of like CCing them like this doesn't do very much. Her second passive, Forest Song, is really good. Increased crit by 30% and attack by 30%. You can't argue with that. It just like makes her hit way harder. And that combined with Meteor means you're just going to be doing a whole lot of damage, and if you can crit, a whole lot more. Her third passive, Spiritual Attunement, after enemy hero dies, heals self for 140% of attack HP. So this is new. And this, I think, has got a lot of people asking, like, oh, is she now worth it? I know everyone said she sucked before, but now she heals herself. Is this good? Should I be using her now? And the thing is, when she has low HP, the nature of a sort of heal, particularly when an event happens like a hero dying, means that you're probably either going to be one-shot and blown up, or you're going to be sort of not hit and you're going to stay alive. So that heal is a little bit irrelevant, because if you haven't got hit and you're alive, you don't need to be healed. If you got one shot and you're dead, you don't need to be healed. So this doesn't make too much sense given how much health she has. That being said, it was a recent buff and it's better than nothing. So it's useful having the heal there, but I think just like the 60% stun of warriors, it's kind of a little bit distracting, and if you really think about her kit and what she's doing, it doesn't actually contribute that much in the long term. So summing up all the sort of skills and stats on Starlight, she can do some pretty good damage. She's one of your first 5-stars, so if she's your only 5-star, if she's one of your first 6, definitely use her. You're going to be doing a bunch of damage. Should you 6-star her? Probably not. I would say that purely because it's really easy to pick up a Faceless. So Faceless is an assassin here in the Forest Tree, and you can get him from like the guild store, you can get him from the altar. He's really easy to get. He drops quite often as well, and so you can sort of use those early Starlights to 6-star your Faceless, and you're going to be doing much better with a 6-starred Faceless than a 6-starred Starlight. That being said, if you do 6-star the Starlight, it's not a disaster. You can use her later to 8-star or 9 or just 8-star somebody, because you're going to need a 6-star to 8-star somebody, so in the Forest, so you can use her for that. So if you did 6-star her, not a problem, she's still useful later. Don't 7-star her, because once you 7-star someone, it's pointless. You can't use them to help out other heroes. So basically, you can 6-star her. It won't be the biggest mistake you've made. I would recommend saving up your Starlights for a Faceless. At one point on this account, I actually had 4 Starlights. I think I'm back to 1 now. So that was a pretty good indicator of how I could have easily 6-starred her, but I didn't. Instead, I just saved her, and I ended up using her to put my Demon Hunter from 6 to 7 stars, I think, and that was really useful. In terms of if you do have her, where to put her in your team, second slot or back line, doesn't really matter, honestly. Late game, you want to put your Squishy in your second slot, but you're probably not going to be using her late game, so really, it's probably going to be in the back line. Overall, is Starlight worth using? Yes, if you don't have another option, but there's many other heroes who can sort of in that mage slot who are just major or ranger really, who do much better. You've got Aiden, you've got Flame Strike, who else have we got? Sort of Margaret, like Queen even, Dasmog, Dark Arthendal, who are all way better in the same slot. So if you got them, use them. If you only have Starlight, you can use Starlight. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helps explain if it's worth using Starlight. Bottom line, if that's all you have, probably help 6-star your Faceless, not your Starlight. But I hope that answers some of your questions. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Cheers.